Please stand for the invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, thank you once again for bringing us here tonight. We ask that you guide us, lead us to good decisions. Lord, that we thank you for the veterans that are presenting to us tonight, for their sacrifice, for everything they've done for this country. Lord, we ask that you put a layer of protection around our country, around our leaders, help them make good decisions. Lord, also place some protection around the people that could not be here tonight, for their family. We ask that you give their families guidance and understanding. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call this April 7th, 2026 public hearing and work session to order. First thing on the agenda is our minute approval. I need a motion to approve the March 17th, 2026 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 17th meeting.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, show of hands. All right. Now we're going to move on into the reports. First is our Finance Department report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the financial report, I'll review the preliminary revenues and expenditures through March 31st, highlighting significant items worth noting. Please note that this is just a preliminary report and does not capture the entire month's activities. This report does capture the mid-year budget amendment that was recently adopted. I will start with the city's main operating fund, the general fund. At this point, we are 3/4 or 75% through the fiscal year, with 82% of total revenues received. Most all of the city's larger revenue streams have been received year to date. We anticipate minimal revenue increase between now and year end. Tax revenues are reported at 92% of the annual budget. Property taxes, insurance premium taxes, and financial institution taxes have all come in. The annual railroad equipment tax was received for $597. Licenses and permits are reported collected at 61%. Building permits are on pace for the year, and license renewals are at 62% received. This is a little low, but we anticipate additional license revenues in the coming months. For intergovernmental revenue, we have received the health grant and safety grant funding, as well as the parks payment from the county per the SES agreement. Charges for services are currently at 57% of the budget from community center, vendor fees, police fees, downtown garbage revenues, and the ball field rentals. Fines and forfeitures, which are attributable to municipal court revenues and Blue Line, are at 77% of the budget, and miscellaneous revenues are at 97% of the budget. For general fund expenditures, all departments are near or below their year-to-date budgeted expenditure levels with a few exceptions. As a reminder, this considers the mid-year budget amendment that was recently adopted. It is also worth noting additional expenditures will be recorded as staff continue to process March invoices. Overall, general fund expenditures for the fiscal year are currently at 62% of the annual budget. The SPLOS Fund reports 95% of revenues received through January, and T-SPLOS revenues are at 68% of the budget. Revenues come in a 2-month lag from when they are collected. For the utility fund, revenues are doing well at 76% of the budget. The utility departments combined report expenses at 63% of the annual budget, which is primarily due to invoices not received and processed that are applicable to the month of March. That concludes the March financial report. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Karen, I have a question. I know I brought this up before, but the $83,000 for the other financing on page 1, I understand that it's Blue Line. I understand it can't be touched, but we have our regular Blue Line on page 6. Why would $83,000 be taken out and put into a separate account like that?
From my understanding, this we take revenues received in one year and fund the next fiscal year. So I can get more explanation. I can ask Rachel more about that.
Okay.
I know that the other one you're talking about is what we're receiving year to date.
Right,
So likely
right.
that'll be what you see in the reserves for next fiscal year.
Okay. So it's almost like that 83,000 was pulled over from last year.
Correct.
Because I know it was taken out last July, right after we passed right after the new fiscal year.
Right.
So it would have been pulled over from last year.
Yes, but I'll
Okay.
get clarification on that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Okay, none?
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. The police department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll be giving the police report for March 1st through the 31st. Area checks, we did a total of 547, had 150 incidents, 17 accidents, 6 arrests, 275 traffic stops, 56 citations, 202 reports. Along with the new business checks and door tags, we only found one business door open and it was tagged. Caught being good citation, we issued 4 out since last month with that programs being started. On to some more announcements. On the 24th of April, Cadet Jory Naomi will be transitioning to Officer Naomi, and that graduation is again on the 24th of April at 10 o'clock at the Classic Center in Athens. Seats are come first serve for the seating, so first come, first serve. I will send out another reminder closer to that date. And that is the police report for the month of March. Any questions of the police department?
Lieutenant Hood, I just have a quick question. Did Tony get one of the cop being good citations?
No, sir. Tony wasn't going to let the cat out the bag. Tony will be getting one tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Tony's doing a ride along tomorrow
wow.
along with myself.
Fantastic. Nice.
So he'll be getting that tomorrow as well as a ride along, sir.
Awesome. Well, what did they do to get the good citation? Can you share that?
Well, one of the very first citation was given to Miss Nikki, who actually came and sat down and said, hey, you need to do some of the ideas with the good citation, and brought it to myself and Major Daniels. And I say, that's kind of different. But we looked at it, we talked about it, and everybody said, hey, that's a good idea, it's not a bad thing. And said every encounter with law enforcement is not always a bad idea. So it was something that everybody thought about. So she got the very first one. And then the other few was just people doing the right thing at the right time. And of course, like I said, Mr. Tony, he'll get his tomorrow for always being able to tell us, hey, they were running that stop sign down there at Broad Street. Any other questions?
No?
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you.
Brett, Public Works.
Good evening, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
So for Public Works for the month of March, EMI continued a sanitary sewer evaluation. They also began preparing, helping us with the MS4 program in preparation to meet the April 8th deadline for submittal. GDOT contractors continued to relocate the water infrastructure around, they began on Bethlehem Road now. They've got Barber Creek side completed, we've got 8th Street side completed, as well as Craft Road. Now they've began the relocation for Bethlehem Road. Performed many site inspections for that. We're preparing the dog park fence for paint. CertaPro painters completed the building painting at Robert Bridges building and the Hillman building. I encourage y'all to check those out if y'all haven't. They look really good. Southern Woods set a schedule to begin the flooring install at Robert Bridges building for this month. AKA Tree Service completed scheduled tree removal and stump grinding. We had a new pump installed at Oak Street Spring. Had a new valve installed on 8th Street and a new valve installed on Craft Road as well. Reshaped and corrected some ditch lines around town. We began brush cutting and cleared some utility right-of-ways around the city. And we prepared the community centers for several rentals during the month. And the city street paving went out to bid. Bids will be received up until Friday, April 24th. The street list, that will be Atlanta Highway, city limit to city limit. There'll also be 5 center turning lanes added. That will be at High Green Drive, Dooleytown, Sunset Drive, Commercial Drive, and 8th Street. They'll have a center turning lane. Just a little bit of pavement will be added to accommodate the center turning lanes. And then that'll be Mulberry Street, paving from Atlanta Highway to Broad. Railroad Street from Mulberry to First. First Street from Railroad to Broad. Railroad Avenue from First to Second. Second Street, Broad to Railroad. Railroad Street, Second to Jefferson. And that will include parking as well. 6th Street, Railroad to Broad. 8th Street, Atlanta Highway to Broad. And that includes some spillways for some, that road's bad about holding some water on the edges. That'll include some spillways on that edge of the road. Excuse me. And then Broad Street as well, for patching. So, and that will accommodate, we'll have to striping back in there and the speed reflectors as well. So, any other questions?
Been
That's
busy.
exciting, yes. I know the citizens will be happy with all those road pavements going on, but I also think that we'll have to be patient too when we finally get started with paving the road, so.
Yeah, and once the bids are received, there'll be a notice of intent from the selected contractor, and they must start within 60 days of notice of intent.
Right, so
Thank you.
that's exciting. All right, thank you, Brett. Guys have been working really, really hard. Mayor's report. I met with Kathy Rourke from Neighbors of Winder magazine. I attended the mayor's meeting in Bogart. I was at the Capitol trip with Leadership Barrow, where I was able to meet with the legislators and got to see our senior exemption get started in the House. That was really exciting for me. And then on the 25th, I met with Mason Orr to produce a video for the state of the city. So we'll have a video, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the cities, of our city at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon. So that's my mayor's report. Also, coming up, as I just want to let everybody know that Georgia Cities Week is coming up, and that's something that we do every year. And it starts on the 20th. It's going to go through the 25th. And so if you like to walk, we're going to have on the 20th on Monday at 8 o'clock. You can meet me at City Hall, and we'll walk around Statham. So walk with the mayor. Then on our next council meeting, I've asked everybody to bring somebody with them to sit up here, some students with them to sit up here and have a mock council meeting with our students. I'll be reading on Wednesday, and if anyone would like to join me at Statham and the library, we'll do a reading on the 22nd, and Brett's going to bring out the equipment on the 23rd to display in downtown of all the equipment that we have recently purchased. Art display will begin here on the 24th, where students over at the library are going to be doing a coloring artwork, and we're going to post them here in the community center. And the last day that I know everybody's excited about, on the 25th, is dumpster day. So make sure you get all your garbage up, everything that you want to come and dump. It's free dumping and shredding. So that's coming up. The 20th through the 25th is Georgia Cities Week, and so we're excited to showcase our city that week. All right. Do we have any tree committee report or anything like that? Okay. All right. The next item up is the Gold Star, Blue Star Memorial Plaque update. Carl Fisher.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for allowing us to be here this evening. Earlier this year, Tim Torelli, who's also a member of our post, brought up the idea, how difficult would it be to get a Blue Star and Gold Star memorial for our community? So Rick Baugh and myself took up that task, and through the generosity of a local business, Cable East, and Robert Wall, who's the manager down there, the owner of that business, we were able to get a grant from him to purchase these with. For anyone who's not familiar with the Blue Star and Gold Star Memorial, the Blue Star Memorial is for families that have a veteran who is serving. The Gold Star Memorial is for families that have lost a veteran while on duty. Our plan is, working with the city of Statham, is that where the current Veterans Memorial is located out here, on either side we'll have a Blue Star and Gold Star Memorial. We got those ordered back in December, and thank goodness we're getting the last one tomorrow morning. We got the Blue Star Memorial already a couple weeks ago. Gold Star Memorial will be here between 10 and 12 tomorrow. So we're making progress. I took the liberty of downloading a copy of a program that was used for the dedication in Macon. And already I've got pen and ink changes this afternoon. So if you got a pen handy, I'm going to give you some changes. Starts out on the back side on the program here. You've got the music, and I understand for the Veterans Memorial or Veterans Day event, y'all got a band from Fort Yargo, is that correct?
It's the Yargo Band. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would that be possible that you all could get that band?
I could check with them, yes.
All right, excellent. I was hoping so because I pinned it in here. I got confidence in you. All right, the welcome will be done, and just so you also know, this program, the Blue Star and Gold Star program, was started by the Garden Club of America back in 1944 as a tribute to the veterans from World War II. Since then, it has evolved from planting dogwood trees along the highway to having these plaques mounted along the highway as well. And in 2015, they added the Gold Star plaque as well. So, as it turns out, the chairperson for this program, his name is Darren Funk. He's also a Gold Star family member. So he knows firsthand what this stands for. Darren will be attending the dedication. He'll also be opening up with doing the opening remarks. This is basically under the tutelage of the Garden Clubs of America. We fill out the order forms, but we had to get their approval before it could be processed through the manufacturer. So this is actually their program. On your sheet, I had a Lisa Hall there as the president. If you would be so kind just to pin in, scratch that out. Diane Hunter is the new president for the Garden Club of Georgia. For the invocation, I've got Art Wesley, and our Art is not only the chaplain at our American Legion post, he's also the chaplain for the Department of Georgia American Legion. And he is kindly consented to do the invocation and the closing prayer as well. The presentation of colors, looking at getting we only have 2 members at our post that are currently physically able to do this. So I'm going to look at getting the color guard or the honor guard from American Legion Post 56 in Jefferson. If they're not available, I'll look at Post 233 in Loganville. They both have 2 full color guards that can support us. And then, of course, you got the presentation of colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. And again, we do the national anthem. If that band can then play, and they can open up playing some type of music as well,
Okay.
patriotic type music.
If you just list what you want, I can let them know. If you just list the music that you want.
Okay. I'm going to update my pen and ink changes that I got
Okay.
today. I'm going to update this and I'll resubmit it to you.
Okay.
Okay. And if you've got an email, I will send you a copy as well. The speakers, you see, I've got the mayor on there. I'm sure we're going to have more speakers. Looking at inviting representatives, state representatives, congressmen, so forth. We're going to have the leadership from our Department of Georgia American Legion will be here. And we're going to reach out to the national headquarters and see if we can get them to come join us as well. But we're going to put this out. We got 3 radio stations that we normally do public service announcements for post events. We're going to be publicizing this through those radio stations and the local newspaper. And and we're going to be inviting all the Blue Star and Gold Star families to attend this ceremony. So I hope we have a good turnout. On your copy, I've got the history and dedication of the markers. I had Darren Funk on there. He's the new chairperson for the program, but I was advised this afternoon that Jan Thies, Thiese, will be doing that history and dedication of the markers. She's more versed in that than Darren is. The unveiling of the markers, it was suggested that our posts do that. We'll have a couple of covers that fit over the 2 markers, and when we do the unveiling, we'll pull those off, and it'll be myself and Rick that will be doing the unveiling of those. Any Gold Star families or that are present, we'd like to recognize them. And then the acceptance of the markers. Tim graciously offered, Mayor, that the city of Statham could put those markers in the ground for us. Just so you know, these markers are 30 by 42. They're huge, double-sided, and they come with a 4-inch post that is bolted to. And I understand you have some city crews that have the equipment. They could maybe get that done for us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Another gold star.
Make a note, Brett.
All right. Thank you for that. And then once we do the acceptance by the mayor, normally it's a wreath, not a big wreath, just a small wreath that's laid at the bottom of the both markers. And then following that, our chaplain will do the closing prayer. And then any closing remarks from Darren Funk, the chairman, will close out the session. And we thank everybody for coming on out and honoring our heroes. Wanted to ask, since the ceremony is going to be right over here, right around the corner, would it be possible, and we'll be glad to assist with it, that we could use this facility to maybe have some refreshments after that?
Sure. We'll make sure we get it put on the books.
Coffee, coffee, ice water, maybe some pastries. We have a source we can get the pastries. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I've made some phone calls today. I've got a commitment from the chairman will be here. Jan will be here as well. Got commitment from our department commander for the state of Georgia and his adjutant, some of the other staff there. Reaching out to some of the state representatives. I'm going to be putting together an invitation that'll be sent out to them. And we've got about a month and a half, and I want to try to get them out quickly so we can get on their calendars. I know they're busy, so. But any questions for us?
No, excited.
This is great. This is wonderful. I'll be working. I'll get in touch with you.
I'll share a little short story. Some years ago, we were working with another group to get the ball fields over at the American Legion Post, get those ball fields renovated.
Right.
Well, that program got hijacked. Somebody thought it ought to be in Winder, since that was the county seat. So we lost that program.
Yes.
And when it was suggested, well, do we want to invite, we'll invite some folks from Winder, but this is Statham's program. Okay, it's not getting hijacked.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Well,
Thank you all
hopefully-
very much.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully you'll find someone in the near future to work on those ball fields. I'm pretty sure you'll find someone.
Well, we do have a group that has taken over the ball fields.
I know.
And they keep them up. They just totally redid all of the fields. They're
Yeah.
doing a great
Yeah,
job.
look good.
Yeah, my granddaughter's playing over there, or practicing over there, so, yeah. Thank you so much for all your work. This is exciting, and it's going to be a great day. So we'll make sure that we do everything that we can do to make this a special day for Statham and for the veterans and everybody involved. So I appreciate your work on this, and it's just great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you have questions about?
Carl,
Council?
you didn't have the time on here. You just have the date. What time will this get started?
We're looking at about 10 a.m. in the morning.
10.
That works for everybody.
Okay. And you started off saying that this was my idea. I think it was Rick's. I think Rick had the idea first. You started off by saying this is my idea. I thought this was Rick's. I thought this was Rick's idea from the start. I know he talked to me early on, but I'm pretty sure it was Rick's idea from the start.
Now, my recollection is that you you asked the question.
Wow.
And then Rick's took the ball and wanted to run with it.
Gotcha.
So here we are.
That's what happens. I am too.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And thanks to Cable East, because they've made this possible. And they've been a great partner here for our city, a great company here. So this is just awesome. I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to get started and planning and making it a very special day for Statham. Okay, now, with that being said, that ends Now we're going into the citizen input. Let me read this first. Each speaker shall speak clearly and shall provide their name and address prior to addressing council. Citizen comment shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes per person, and no speaker may speak more than once. Speakers shall address the city council as a body rather than to any particular member, and shall refrain from personal attacks against any other person. And we're asking that you keep your language in good standing. The presiding official may limit or refuse a speaker the right to continue if the speaker continues to violate these rules of decorum. So who's first?
Lacey Dooley. Hello, everyone. I will squat. My name's Lacey Dooley, and I live at 1943 Broad Street, and I'm here today to discuss concerns about the Sunflower Festival proceeds from this last year. I was part of a group of committee members that did the events last year in Statham, and before we agreed to take on the festival, we were told that there would be a line item put into the budget that these proceeds would go towards things back to the community, and I just want to make sure that's being done. The 2024 festival committee, they put so much back in the community. They did the food drives, and they still have some funds that they are doing food drives with again this summer from what I've heard, and I want to make sure stuff like that's done before they run out of those funds, because it's so important that as a community we're there to back up our citizens, whether it's lower income, people who are struggling because of this really rough economy, but also like something that's passionate to myself as a mom of 3 in this town is to the families in this town too. There were swing sets that were taken up at Robert Bridges Park, and I think that's an excellent opportunity to use those funds to give us a really nice swing set, a place for the kids to play, because right now the only option is when the church, like they are fabulous and they let us use the playground, and that's the only option our community has as far as a play set. So I would just really appreciate if this could be taken into future consideration, especially as the Sunflower Festival continues and those funds every year, because I know legally they have to go to general funds, but being able to have that in the budget would just really mean a lot for me as a citizen, and I'm sure to a lot of other people too.
Lacey, we plan on putting those into a line item, and the council will make the decision on, they'll have to vote on where they want that money to go as far. But we're looking at community outreach. We're looking at what would be best suited or best needed for our community. I know I talked with Eddie Jackson about that. So I just wanted to let y'all know that we are planning to do something and that we have not forgotten that, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Christine Bogenreiter.
Hello, Christine Bogenreiter, 1969 Broad Street. I just wanted to make a comment. Recently, the mayor has decided to dissolve the finance committee, and I'm not in agreement with that. I would like to see I'm concerned with the lack of transparency and accountability for all the citizens. I would like to see all the agendas and council packets be provided online. Watkinsville does this, and there are other cities that do that. I'd like everybody to take a look at that. They have their budgets, like the reports that, the council only gets. The whole council packet, they have that online, so citizens can look at that and come forward with any questions that they have at the meetings. I just think that would be great for our citizens to be more involved and to have their questions and concerns answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. That's a good idea.
Denny Adams.
Denny Adams, 457 Cali Lane. I'd like to speak about the future of this little town here. It's not looking real good. I see you've got yourself another dump truck. I don't know if it was a good idea or not. I heard it was $42,000. Truck's 20 years old. Good idea? I don't know. I see you got your emergency system installed to give us warnings on what? A flood? Rain? A hurricane? We get that on our phones for free. I don't know what you're going to be paying for this stuff. Lastly, what I heard is our 4th of July celebration in town here. You've combined two, 4th of July and June 19th. June 19th, nothing wrong with it. Celebrate it on June 19th. When I heard that, it went to my core. I mean, to my core. Pissed me off to no end. I don't think any thought was given to this. It was knee reaction. That's all I got.
I believe that we will not be doing it on June 19th, so there's a different date, I think, that we found that we could do it on, so that it wouldn't be on the holiday. So I'm not aware of the exact date, but I know that we were talking with the company to see, because I had asked that we change that. So I'm pretty sure that that may be a change. So.
Hattie Thrasher.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A little while no
Good
see.
evening, Hattie.
I have two questions. The past weekend, the park had a sign. Well, no, it didn't have a sign. It was locked. The kids couldn't play. So they paid me a visit, and I live on Ventura Street. And I had no answer for them. So if you got one why the park was locked, the gate was locked with no sign on it, that's their playground, besides Ventura Street and Peter Street. So, I mean, if it was something that had to be good, but if it happens again, would you please put a sign up for, besides locking the gate? Because I didn't want to have to tell them, don't go, if it's locked, don't go around it.
Okay.
The next thing I'd like to mention is, in the park across the street, in my honor, while on the council, was a bench put there. But I noticed my name is still not on it. I don't mind anybody sitting on it, but I would like to see my name on it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Hattie. Appreciate it.
Joe Piper.
Good evening. As she introduced me, is Joe Piper. I have a couple of things. I'm concerned for the city of Statham, the citizens and the businesses. You know, we lost Eddie's down here for a period of time because the city felt that $500 a month for that rental was not enough. So they wanted $1,850. I guess they settled for $1,150. That property sat for longer than I lived here, and we had no revenue from it. He's put a lot of his time, blood, sweat, tears, and money into it. So I'm glad to see that that came back. We have no Mexican restaurant. I know there's been some issues there, but I think that the city probably could work a little bit more with them. I'd like to see that come back. So, you know, on the outside looking in, it kind of looks like you're a little biased against businesses. You want it to be a nice place to live, but do you really believe what you say, because you need businesses to make it I think sometimes there's some arrogance on this council. A lot of closed-door meetings, more closed-door meetings, I would say, in your first 2 years than I had in 4. And you're always 100% in favor. And nobody can be 100% on every single vote. There's never any opposition. The only opposition that I saw was Council Torelli mentioned when you considered putting the Juneteenth and the 4th of July celebration together. He reminded this council that that's the 250th birthday of our nation, in independence from England. 250 years, and unless you lived under a rock for the last 5 years, pretty much everybody knew the 250 was coming. And I sat here in that meeting that night, and you had to add that to the agenda, which happens quite a bit as a matter of fact, and you know it, I know it. But you had to discuss it. You did approve funds, but the comment was made that we're running out of time. You've been in office now 2 years and a quarter, and you would have known. So to say, well, that's the only time we can get somebody to do the fireworks, should have left it with the Castos, because I guess they know how to plan. It just shocks me that the administration makes the money that they make, and you all make what you make for a couple of hours a month, and it couldn't have been decided to get something that was within a day or two of the 4th of July. It is absolutely amazing. It cheapens Juneteenth, which originally was a Texas holiday. And it was how long it took to get the word of the Emancipation Proclamation. And I fully believe no one should be enslaved anywhere in the world, but it still continues. But I'm glad that our forefathers thought ahead enough to get rid of that. And I just think that even discussing putting those two together, even though you've separated them now, was a big insult to our country and a big slap in the face for our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Miss Mary Lay.
Good afternoon, Miss Mayor, and to the City Council. I come this afternoon still with, my name is Mary Lay. I live 462 Grace Drive, and I'm still worried about my car because my problem is AT&T put a line out there, and then sometimes I see Statham out there, and my car got bent with some of these workers. Sometimes I go home or get up to come to the post office, trucks, AT&T trucks, all in the driveway. So I can't get out. So now you all know what's going on, but I'm still asking that someone will reach out and help me get my car fixed. Because it was because my routine is going to the post office every morning around 10:30, 11. And whoever says that AT&T's truck was out there, and then I have seen Statham truck out there. So I'm just asking, Miss Mayor and to the council, I need help getting my car fixed. And I won't stand up here anymore. I want my car fixed. Because all of it come from AT&T trucks. I don't know who the AT&T trucks are, all in the driveway on 462 Grace Drive Road. Now I don't know why they parked out there. They eat the lunch out there. And then I see other white trucks and Statham's back and forth. But I just need help getting my car fixed. That's my main thing. And I won't bother you no more. I just want my car fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lay.
Kathy Bennett.
Hey y'all, my name's Kathy Bennett. I live at 409 Sunset Drive. Have a couple of comments and a couple of questions. I don't know if one of the questions specifically y'all be able to answer since Jody's not here. These may sound like random questions, but I'm going to pull it all together at the end. How many paid city employees do we have? And I'm not talking about what y'all make. I'm talking about policemen, safety workers, utility workers.
24.
24, okay. And are all of these positions salaried or are some of them hourly?
There are some that are salary and there are some that are hourly.
Okay. Of these salaried positions, are there any of these positions that allow people to work from home? I mean, is that in anybody's job description? Or is there an agreement made when someone is hired?
There's a discretion. Yeah, they have to come to ask for time if they need to be working from their home, yes.
All right, and what circumstances would necessitate someone working from home? Let's say Joe Blow in the water department, and I'm sorry guys, I don't know y'all's names, so. Needs to do a little bit of research or something, and his computer doesn't work at the office or whatever. He's just gonna do it from home. Would that be a reason that would justify him working from home?
If there was an illness and he had to get the work done, yes.
Okay, and in that situation, would he be required to document and prove the work that he did from home?
Yes.
Okay. I know a lot of us, I worked from home for many years for a hospital. I was paid by the hour. But there were many times, especially when we changed operating systems, that I would work even though I wasn't on the clock because somebody needed, I had to do something before the next person down the line could do what they needed to do, and so on and so on. Okay, that was just a comment. And Debbie, you as mayor, I know that it's difficult to set hours because you go to other places, you go to meetings, you do things that are, at nighttime. Do you ever feel like that you are entitled to say, well, I went to this meeting and it took up my whole day, or it was on a Saturday or whatever? Do you feel like that it's right for you to turn in time for that? And I'll answer for you. I'm going to say no, and I'm not saying that you've ever done it. I'm just using that as an example. We have a lot of great public safety officers. We have a great police department. I would imagine that there's times when they're at home with their families and they might see a really cool article about something that would enhance their jobs. They might sit down 3 or 4 hours and do some research on that and come back and say, hey guys, look what I learned. And it could be something great. But they're probably not going to turn in an invoice for that 3 or 4 hours that they did, okay? Just like I didn't turn in I didn't make extra money for doing when I was working at home. When I was working from home, I had to do what I had to do. And because of the kind of work I did, there was proof. The reason that I'm asking these questions is because we all know that we have had questions and concerns about one of our city employees who would take vacation time, but would turn around and say, but I really worked. So that they wouldn't have to use their vacation time. I understand one of our city employees is on vacation this week, which is fine. Everybody needs a vacation. What I want to know is, at any point afterwards, will we be able to see how many hours she turned in? Because word on the street is that she's on vacation, but she's going to be working. Will we be able to look at her time card? This disturbs me greatly. And I don't have a personal beef against anybody, but I just don't understand. And I want to know how many hours said person turns in while being on vacation. If she turns in 2 hours, I want to know what she did for that 2 hours. If she turns in 35 hours, I want to know what she did for that 35 hours. Because when I worked, I had to make a log of everything I did. And I was paid by the black character on a piece of paper, what I transcribed. So there's no way I could say, oh, well, I worked 12 hours yesterday and I did 5 pages worth of work. I would just like to know that there's some accountability. And I want to know how many hours that person turns in. Maybe I should have asked these questions in a more private setting, but I feel like that I'm probably not the only person that's just kind of got to stick up my rear end about that right now. Okay?
Okay.
That's everything I got.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Ms. Kathy.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Lacey was talking about the, that's not mine. Lacey was talking about the Sunflower Festival. And at the last meeting that I watched it online, I noticed that our city administrator was talking about things that were going to be happening at the 4th of July thing, and, you know, food trucks and blah, 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 and all this. And I used to be on the events committee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there thinking, do we not have an events committee anymore?
No.
Do we not?
No.
Do we know why?
Well, the events committee, we are planning it through the city now. We've taken over the Sunflower Festival, so.
Okay, well, that makes me really sad, because I was on that committee and there were so many people who were hard workers.
Yes, they are.
And there was so many great things happening in this city. And I don't feel like, and this is nothing, no slack against y'all, but you had people who were dedicated and hard workers who used their own personal time, all of them not retired, some of them still working full-time jobs. And I don't feel like that you as a council, and again, not to diss you, but I just don't feel like y'all will have the time to be able to put into that. And that's gonna hurt when we lose those things.
Ms. Bennett,
Great things that we
I'm
have.
sorry to cut you off, but you're over your 5 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
sorry.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? This meeting is adjourned.